Yo, what's going on, Geminites? It's your boy Gem Mint.
Milton the Manimal.
We're here with the Valiant Deluxe Edition read-through, Act 1, Part 3, last part. Last
Such
part.
a mouthful, man.
I know, of the Act 1, right? So that means that we're going to put the picture up. That whole top row, we done read everything.
11 books.
11 books.
Yeah.
This one, we read Quantum and Woody, Volume 1 and 2, and Shadow Man 1 and 2.
Right.
Now, unfortunately for me, I didn't like either one of these titles.
Yeah, I actually liked Shadow Man. I definitely liked the first volume better than I liked the second volume. And we'll kind of talk about that a little bit. But the second volume kind of dragged for me. Quantum and Woody was hard to read. It was, if you've heard me talk about, like in the live show and other videos about Harley Quinn and Deadpool, this felt like Valiant's Harley Quinn and Deadpool. It was just fucking nonsense.
So since we're already talking about it, so Quantum and Woody are these foster brothers, right? I think really Woody is the foster child.
Woody's the foster child, yeah.
And then Quantum, and they live with Quantum and his father. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it matters to say, but Quantum and his father are black, Woody's white.
It kind of matters in terms of the dynamic, and there's a lot of jokes.
Right.
I mean, it's a very comedic, I'm looking at the back here, and it calls it utter lunacy, and that's actually true. And
Woody is like this Deadpool type kind of character, super slapstick, everything's a crazy joke. He doesn't care about anything. He ruins everything.
He's a con artist, he's a womanizer. He has no responsibility.
Right.
And they end up with powers.
They end up with powers. It's something with their father is like the scientist.
Yeah, they get caught in, like, their father dies and they go to his lab and they get caught in some kind of explosion that Woody causes. And they don't really explain it, but they both get like a band on their wrist and they have to, every 24 hours, slap it together.
I don't think they brought that up in the second volume.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
So the powers are what? So Woody has like these force kind of powers.
He can like destabilize molecules and atoms.
And then Quantum can make force fields.
Right. And, I mean, they both can do a little bit more. They never really go into detail about their powers, which kind of seems like indicative of the Valiant universe in general. Right?
Well, the thing is, I guess like Harbinger, they could do anything.
Yeah.
Bloodshot, anything. So, whatever the story calls for.
Right.
So, I guess their father, they kind of get his subconscious into this goat. So, it's kind of like a Jay and Silent Bob walking around with the chimpanzee,
monkey,
right?
The chimpanzee.
They're walking around with the goat who has crazy powers, too.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a past story, and the father had at one point did some experiment, and part of his consciousness got cloned into a goat, and then his father dies. But then the goat's still alive as like a clone of the father, really.
And the goat will
laser eyeballs.
Yeah, laser eyeballs. He'll straight eat anything, like a car.
And he can fly, too. Yeah. It's really weird.
I don't remember the story arc on the first one, but I remember the second one was
really
this whole...
no story arc.
There isn't, right?
No.
There's this whole thing about them becoming the superhero team, and they're kind of like heroes for hire as well.
Yeah, so like I think at the end of the Volume 1 on the story arc, if you will, they become bounty hunters, and that's like how Volume 2 starts somewhat.
And then Volume 2 goes into this whole search for the Holy Grail.
Yeah, and they link up with Archer and Armstrong, which really
I liked.
See, I felt like it did Archer and Armstrong a disservice.
It brought them down a peg.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it made them form a new team called the Delinquents.
Right.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, I guess.
Archer's not really a delinquent, though.
It would really make sense if Quantum and Woody just disappeared forever.
So the thing I'm noticing about the Valiant universe, and we'll talk about that in Shadow Man too, it's kind of like versions of Marvel and DC heroes, man.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I think we've kind of talked about this too before. Yeah. Like, how do you make a superhero these days without it being somewhat
he done did everything
influenced? You know. Before we move on to Shadow Man, let's talk about what's in the books.
Okay, yeah, good idea.
So, Volume 1, Quantum and Woody collects Quantum and Woody 1 through 12, and Quantum and Woody the Goat 0, which is the origin story for the goat.
Not the greatest of all time.
Yeah. Volume 1 is cover price $39.99. Volume 2 collects...
Which just came out, by the way, Volume 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Volume 2 collects The Delinquents 1 through 4, Quantum and Woody Must Die 1 through 4, Valiant-sized Quantum and Woody 1, and Unity 25, along with 20-plus pages of rarely seen art and extras.
I flipped through those quick as hell.
Yeah.
So the cover price is the same.
No, actually, it's $59 or $49.99. It's $10 more. For more garbage.
Maybe for that Archer and Armstrong tie-in cost you a couple dollars.
Yeah.
What I wanted to say was that Unity. So Unity 1 through 4 gets brought up in like Harbinger Wars or some shit like that. Then 5 through 9 comes up in like X-O Manowar Volume 2, I think.
Was it Armor Hunters?
Maybe Armor Hunters. And then we get Unity 25 in here, so it jumps really far, and you're introduced into this Unity team and this home base that they have that you don't know what it is until you read Armor Hunters.
Yeah, to be honest, I skipped that issue because of that reason.
Which makes sense. So the next deluxe edition that I have to read, because I did read Armor Hunters, is I have to read Unity. I might just skip through 1 through 4, read... Oh, then did 5 through 9, or did it skip anything?
You said Armor Hunters had 5 through 9. I don't know.
It might have had 10 through 14 or something.
Yeah.
I think because there's a chunk in the middle I didn't read.
Missing.
And I don't even know if it goes up to issue 25, so we'll see, man.
So let's talk about Shadow Man.
So Shadow Man is, to me, like a Ghost Rider or a Venom or a Spawn.
Yeah.
Or what else, right?
Yeah, so the first volume I did like a lot. It felt really... I like the supernatural stuff. It felt really like a Ghost Rider character. He's this guy who has this Loa, if you will, which is like they kind of tell you it's a demon, like an exiled demon.
Or a symbiote or a spirit of vengeance, and it runs through his family. His father had it before him.
So, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that was my big issues with Volume 1 and 2, was Volume 1 seemed like it was a different character than he was in Volume 2. Volume 1 was more Ghost Rider, and you get to Volume 2, and all of a sudden it's more of like a symbiote. Like
yeah, so in Volume 1 he even goes to like their version of hell. Or the undead.
The Deadlands.
The Deadlands is what it was. That CP remembering shit.
Yeah.
Well, he did just read it.
Yeah, true.
It's the most separated from the Valiant universe, I would think, right?
Yeah, there was something, man. Damn it, I totally forgot. There was a tie at some point. The good thing about 2, or the cool thing about 2, was Punk Mambo.
Punk Mamba, I love her.
Yeah.
She was a dope character. So I like that. And so she had. So we'll talk about it real quick. So right, Volume 1 just collects 0 through 10 of Shadow Man. Mm-hmm. Volume 2 collects 11 through 16, Shadow Man 13X, Shadow Man End Times 1 through 3, and then Punk Mambo 0, which is like, so she gets her little own one-shot. I would like to see if they do some more with her, man.
Well, so they have another, looks like I saw on the list, the Death-Defying Dr. Mirage. So
yeah.
She gets introduced in Volume 1.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I saw that. That's like the follow-up to these books.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is like a New Orleans-based, voodoo-heavy kind of a thing.
Right. And like I said, Volume 1, I really liked it. It's basically like him dealing with this, getting his powers, coming up.
His origins, right?
But then Volume 2 was just all of a sudden he was angry, and the Shadow Loa was like controlling him and speaking to him. He has an uncontrollable
rage.
Yeah. And the guys who were helping him were now trying to kill him. And it just, the tone changed and it felt weird.
Oh, that's right on the cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. He's got this scythe. What is his powers? I mean...
So he can, same thing, not really explained. He can go back and forth between the Deadlands and the regular world, and he has this, like, yeah, like you said, like a scythe that can kill enemies.
Rip your soul out.
He's basically, they describe the Shadow Loa as this, like, entity or demon that was exiled by what they describe as, like, I don't know, the elder. I can't remember the name. The Elders of the Universe. And he's kind of crazy and wild, but he's trying to hunt down other demons.
Gotcha.
Other exiled demons.
Right.
Yeah, he doesn't think he should have been exiled.
Gotcha. So I mean, overall, I mean, I didn't hate it. Quantum and Woody, it was like it was a little bit of a short. Yeah, I did hate that.
I hated Quantum and Woody.
But the good news is that I already read Armor Hunters. I just finished it, and now you're starting it, which is the first book of Act 2, and I loved it. I thought it was awesome as fuck. I was reading it on the plane. I couldn't put it down. So don't let this discourage you that everything's gonna suck from now on. Luckily,
to be honest, we kind of did this to ourselves. We put the 2 least interesting characters as the tail end of it.
And I think I mentioned that to you when you grabbed these. I was like, damn, you should have read Quantum and Woody 1, Shadow Man 1, XO 1, and kind of like spaced out
the shit.
Instead of like a shit fest of these 4 books. But
I did like Shadow Man.
No, they were all right. I read Volume 2 recently because it just came out, and that was one of the last I had to read to finish this act. So Act 1 is done. We're going to put up the screen now so you can see that Armor Hunters is next. XO Manowar Volume 3 is... Everything in that book is inside of Armor Hunters, so it's really a double dip if you bought that, but of course, I had to get it. So we're not going to need to read that, so we're going to cross that out. We're going to cross out Armor Hunters, and you're reading it now. Right. And we'll probably knock that out. Then I'm going to read Unity, and then I have to see what's next on the list.
Yeah, we'll have to look at it.
Cool, man. Still happy that we're doing it. I'm glad that we're going to have at the end of the day, we're going to turn around and have read every fucking one of these books.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's
funny because like 2 months ago, you hadn't read one of them.
You
had read them, yeah.
But no, it's like an accomplishment. It's like a notch on your belt. Like, you fucking read the whole Valiant universe, bitches.
But, yeah, you know, same thing. Let us know where you're at. Let us know if you liked it. You know, everyone has differing opinions. Obviously, some people liked Quantum and Woody.
People like Deadpool and Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
love that.
so, yeah, people love that stuff. Just not our cup of tea.
It just wasn't realistic. The story didn't matter. It was all about the jokes and the dialogue and the zany antics that happen. I don't even like movies like that. Like,
yeah, that's not my thing.
That are just zaniness. Like, give me action and movie. Armor Hunters is the action movie that I wanted.
Right.
Did you read any of it?
Not yet. I haven't started.
You're in for a motherfucking treat. All right, y'all. Let's wrap this thing up. Make sure to hit the like. On the way out, drop us a comment, like Manimal said, what you like, what you didn't like. I like how some people are like, I don't even read this shit, but I just like watching the videos to see what you think.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of getting to the point where, I don't know. But it's fun. Some people are watching, some people aren't.
It's
if
all
you
good,
are,
man.
appreciate it, man.
We're at 9,000 subs, yo. 9,025 or something today.
Yeah, something like that.
So on that road to 10K, man. So make sure to subscribe. Tell your mother, your grandmother, brother, cousin,
grandpappy,
your granddaddy. All right, we out this thing.
Peace.
Peace.